everybody, welcome back. Or if you are new to my channel, then hello, my name is Karima. And today I wanted to demonstrate some makeup techniques to address very common skin concerns, including enlarged pores, flaky skin, lumps and bumps and other texture issues, emerging spots that are raised, and older spots that are a little bit crusty, and other concerns that I'm currently exhibiting on my face. I really hope that you guys enjoy the tutorial. Before I begin, I just want to tell you guys something. I finally have purple hair. That's all I wanted to share. Let's get into it. Okie dokie, so about 15 minutes prior to filming, I dotted some Neosporin on any blemishes. This is a antibacterial balm ointment situation, and I'm using it for two reasons. Number one, it provides a bit of a protective film over a blemish and helps it heal, but also it'll soften any crusty skin, especially if you let it sit overnight. This is such a helpful step because if you have ever tried to conceal a crusty blemish, you will know that struggle. It is freaking impossible. On to primer, and there are a bajillion different primers geared towards many different skincare concerns. If you are looking to address enlarged pores or uneven texture, I highly recommend a pore filling product. Now, when it comes to primer, I say less is more. So apply a thin layer just to the areas that require smoothing. So for me today, that's the T-zone. Now for a second primer. This one is my favorite for dry, flaky skin, which I'm experiencing around the mouth area. Two primers, it might seem like a lot of faff and hassle, but if your face is a patchwork of different skin concerns, which is really common, treat each area accordingly and you'll just get a better result. If discoloration under the eyes is a concern and concealer alone just won't cut it, definitely worth trying a corrector. Now, depending on your skin tone, correctors can range from a salmony pink shade to an orange shade, and a small amount balances any blue or purple tones under the eyes so that you can get away with less concealer, which is very nice. On to foundation, and if I'm battling texture issues like I am today, I'll generally opt for a silicone heavy foundation because that's the ingredient that really gives the illusion of smoother skin. In terms of application, I find that foundation tends to sit best on bumps or blemishes or flaky skin if you press the product into the skin. I'm sure you guys have heard this countless times before, but I'm just going to throw it in there. The purpose of foundation is to even out the skin tone. If your blemishes are still peeking through a bit like mine are here, that is a-okay. It's better to spot conceal than to build foundation where you might not need it. On that note, let's spot conceal. For this, you want a super duper high coverage concealer and a very small, precise brush. When selecting a blemish concealer, keep in mind that you don't want to go any lighter than your skin tone because in the same way we contour and highlight the face to bring things forward, we don't want to highlight an already raised blemish. So go ahead and dot any blemishes on the face, but don't attempt to blend the edges straight away. If you give it just a minute or two, the concealer will set somewhat, and when you do go to blend, that product won't just wipe away. So once you've given that concealer a minute or two to work its magic, it's blend time. And I'm using the same tiny brush and dotting in circles around the blemish. I'm avoiding dotting the very head of the blemish, the most red part. We want to preserve the coverage there. This step is more about blending the edges into the rest of the skin. If you're stretched for time, you can absolutely dab the concealer with your finger. I generally don't do that. I find that the brush method preserves the coverage where you need it, but yeah, if you're in a rush, that's a good workaround. On to setting the face with powder, and if there is one tip to take away from the tutorial, it would be this. Powder areas with blemishes or bumps. Any sheen or dewiness on raised bumps will catch the light and it draws attention to blemishes, whereas a matte finish will create a flatter looking surface, which tends to be more forgiving on blemishes. If you enjoy a healthy, dewy finish, don't feel obliged to powder all over. For example, I kept the cheekbones dewy so that I can have the best of both worlds. If you want to amp up the coverage or maybe put something in your handbag for touch-ups, a powder foundation comes in handy. I'm using an eye brush here actually to press some extra product on my Rudolph nose, a little bit between the brows, as well as any angry spots. So now the base is complete in terms of coverage and the world is your oyster and you can go for any look you like, whether it be a black smoky eye or a red lip. Whatever look you choose to do, I would say keep one thing in mind. If you have powdered a significant portion of the face, I think it's nice to add some luminosity to the areas that perhaps don't have texture. So my cheeks are pretty dry, so I added some cream blush, cream bronzer, and cream highlight. Now let's say that your situation is reversed and your textured area is on your cheeks and you've powdered your cheeks. Try to add some luminosity down the center of the face. It's just about mixing different finishes so that the face looks three-dimensional and healthy. I really hope that you guys found this video helpful. I'm always a bit wary about filming corrective tutorials because I would never want to suggest that anything ought to be fixed. That's just not the aim of my game. To me, makeup should be fun. That being said, hopefully you can take a tip or two from this video and feel confident and comfortable in the skin you're in. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye-bye. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. You need it. You need it. So on one side we have more of a satin highlight. It's a very soft gleam, and on the other side